Hello, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill, and I want to welcome you to Living in Balance. Our subject today is meditation, how powerful, how profound an impact it can have on your life. We will tell you some techniques and we will share some meditations with you, so do come join us. Well, Jay Tyler is our guest, and meditation is his life. He has been doing it for more than 30 years, and he feels that it is so powerful and profound that he would like to share it with you, and he has in many different ways. So I'm really pleased to have Jay Tyler with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Georgia. I appreciate that very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you know, people keep telling us over and over, every time I interview people, how important meditation is in our lives. And we have to quiet our minds, and that is not easy. We can learn how to quiet our minds, and we want to go to what, alpha state? Is that where we want to get to?
That's what meditation basically is. It's a change in consciousness, which means it's a change in the vibration of our brain frequency. When we are normally walking around in our normal day, where our brain vibrates in a beta state, and then the first level of meditation is called alpha, and it's just a shift in consciousness. And we all know what this is. It's kind of like spacing out. Have you been driving down the road, or maybe somebody's talking to you and you just space out and you don't even know what they're saying, and then all of a sudden you just kind of come back and you wonder, oh my God, what did they say?
Where have I been?
That's the alpha state. So we all know what meditation is.
But we can use it so importantly in our lives. It can make changes in our lives that are very important for our health, for our inner stability, relieving stress. Well, there are lots of benefits, are there not, to meditation?
Absolutely. There's lots of things that a regular practice of meditation will do. For one, it helps the digestive system. It improves your ability to sleep well. Improves your ability to focus on the task at hand.
Well, I would like for our audience, many of them know who you are, if they see you in your meditation moments, and that's something that you do for Wisdom Television, and I thought that perhaps we might play one so that people will recognize you, Jay Tyler, with a meditation moment. So could we roll that?
The relationships we share with our family and friends are some of the richest parts of our lives. But a lot of times we get so caught up in our busy world that we forget just how important these relationships are. Here's a meditation that helps to reacquaint us with the positive memories of our friends and loved ones. Pull out your old photo albums, settle in a comfortable place, and surround yourself with pictures of people you love. As we grow through the years, our friends and family grow more important to us. We can meditate on these photographs as a way to remember and better appreciate their lives and ours. First, just thumb through the albums and the photographs and refamiliarize yourself with all the people in the pictures. Choose a photograph and look at the details of the person in the picture. Look at their eyes, their lips, the shape of their face, the style of their hair and clothes. Now, close your eyes and think of a special time you had with this person. Visualize the outfit they were wearing. Imagine them looking at you, talking to you, their smile, their gestures. This is a way to remember and appreciate the important people in our lives, even if they're far away or no longer with us. This meditation helps to resurrect some of the lost details of our memory and find warm touchstones to carry with us into the future. By doing this, we anchor the feeling of having good, loving relationships in our lives so that we can go into the world with a better attitude toward all relationships. I'm Jay Tyler, wishing you many moments in meditation.
So that was Jay Tyler, as so many people in our audience know him. So you felt that this was something that you could serve people well, and you felt very good about sharing meditation with others.
I contacted the Wisdom Network and told them I was a producer and I wanted to do something with meditation, that I've been meditating for over 30 years, and they suggested that I think about doing some interstitial spots. And I had won a regional Emmy with a public service announcement, and I thought I liked the format, so I thought, well, public service announcement type things. And so we did 24 2-minute spots called meditation moments.
Great. I enjoy them. I really do. Now, we're going to talk about meditation. We're going to talk about the benefits, and that's one of the things also that you have done, in your tape series, this Meditation Monthly. This is another thing, like I said, this man's life is about meditation. And the Meditation Monthly we'll talk more about, but basically what you have found is that when we talk about meditation, you can say in point number 1, maximize your physical and mental energy. And so you can stop in the middle of the day when you are exhausted, and you can do a meditation and you can just be energized again. And if you are really too hyper, you can get calmed down.
The trouble with a lot of the techniques in meditation is they require you to go through a process. And one of the things I wanted to do with meditation is to be able to very quickly and easily go to that alpha state that we talked about earlier.
Yes.
And I've developed some techniques to do that. Not really developed them, I just incorporated some techniques that were already being used in some other disciplines.
Now, you mentioned that you use a point with your fingers. Is that one of the things that you do that helps you get to it?
Right. When I was in college, I was studying psychology, and I heard about Pavlov and his dogs. And he would feed his dogs, ring a bell, feed his dogs, ring a bell. And it occurred to me, if I could do some sensory stimulation to myself while I was in the meditative state, and do that over and over and over again, like Pavlov did with his dogs, then I could just do that to myself to induce the meditative state instantly. So I wouldn't have to go through the traditional process that I'd been learning to do. So for years, I have been touching my ring finger and thumb together. Not this hand, the other hand. The only time I ever do that is when I'm either in the meditative state or wanting to go to the meditative state. I show it with the right hand, but I do it with the left hand. So I've done this tens of thousands of times, and I will get into the meditative state and I will touch my finger together. Get in the meditative state, do that. So now when I'm really stressed out or I need a moment of meditation, maybe I've only got 30 seconds to do it. And instead of having to go through the process, which might eat up my 30 seconds, and I wouldn't even be able to enjoy the meditative state, I can just take a deep breath, touch my fingers together, and it's kind of like a macro on a computer. It takes you right to the program.
Well, I told you that a post-hypnotic suggestion that I had when I went to a hypnotherapist years ago to quit smoking was to touch these fingers together, both hands. And when I do that, I can get very quiet. But I never used it like you did. If I did this over and over with the Pavlov theory, right, then I could, I can get quiet, but I could use that to get into my deep meditative state, is what you're saying.
Yes.
A little signal.
Right.
Okay.
And it was surprising to me when the psychology of neuro-linguistic programming became popular. I thought, I've been doing that for years. This is the same thing Pavlov was doing, basically. And then Tony Robbins came out with neuro-associative conditioning, which is basically the same type thing. So there's lots of names and titles to the same type of technique. It's simply get into a state of consciousness that you want to be in, do something to yourself that stimulates one or more of your senses, do that repeatedly, then all you have to do is stimulate that sense, and bang, it'll take you right to it.
Okay. And we maximize our physical and mental energy, but we also can relax the mind and body anytime you want. So that's what you're saying. Even in that situation when you have just 30 seconds, or if you're in the car or you are wherever, you can go to that.
Right. And a lot of what I do and teach in this audio course is just to be aware of our state of mind and our state of body. I'm all about 3 things. I want to relax the body, slow down the brain activity, and do it without interrupting my busy schedule. So a lot of times I'll be sitting there at the computer editing or doing something that doesn't require my tensing my thighs, yet I find my thighs are tense. So I'm just needlessly wasting physical energy. So if I'm just aware of that and just kind of scan my body and go, oh, there's an area of tension, I can just let that go. Or maybe my mind's just racing and thinking of a bunch of thoughts, and I'm not focused on what I'm doing. If I'm just aware of it, then I can help bring myself back to what I'm wanting to do with one of these techniques.
And that's your third point of the benefits, is that you can manage stress, meditate without interrupting your busy schedule.
Right. A lot of people come to me and say, Jay, I'd love for you to teach me how to meditate, but I just don't have time.
I don't have time, right?
Nobody has time to meditate. But everybody gets stuck in traffic. Everybody finds himself waiting on an elevator. Everybody finds himself on hold on the telephone. And everybody goes to the bathroom. So we have packaged into our busy day little moments where we can stop and take a little quick meditative moment.
And did you study other disciplines as far as other types, or did you study some of the Eastern philosophies and their methods of meditation too?
I got into meditation, I think it's 1969, when transcendental meditation was sweeping the universities. And So that was my beginning, and I learned about a mantra, and I was doing the mantra, and that sort of thing I was getting into it, and I have studied some other types of meditation and taken courses and read books and listened to tapes.
But you liked your shortcut approach.
Well, I was looking for a quick approach because all of these were a process. You know, to do the mantra, you say the mantra and the mantra and the mantra, and finally you get there. But I found out, or I realized, the mantra is basically an auditory trigger to get to the meditative state. The mantra you say repeatedly is a word that has no meaning. But since you say it over and over and over and associate that with the meditative state, soon the mantra becomes your trigger to that meditative state.
So that's an approach, the trigger, and you use the other trigger for you.
Yeah, you can do anything. And the more senses you bring into it, the better. In fact, I would take a deep breath, and when I would exhale, I would let the wind vibrate my vocal cords as I touch my finger. But I've done it so many times, I don't have to do that anymore. And I meditate often in the bathroom, and I don't want to be in there going, ah, ah. So I just hit my finger together.
Yeah, okay. And I know I use the Om Namah Shivaya was one thing that I was taught. And since it's Sanskrit, that's something where, like you say with the mantra, that you don't have an association with it. But recently I've been thinking, well, they just want us to quiet our mind. Why don't we just say, quiet mind, quiet mind, quiet mind? Anything over and over.
Right.
But you can take us there differently and there were several steps that we're going to be talking about. Breathing, of course, is ever so important too. And there are a couple more benefits that we'll be talking about, but we'll take a break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're even going to take a walk on the beach with Jay Tyler, and we have been on my beach, and I've told you before how important that is to me and how it's become a part of my daily life and how I can find peace and quiet walking along the shoreline of Southwest Florida. So if you will stay tuned, we will come back and we will tell you more about the benefits, and also we'll take a walk on the beach. And if you are just joining us, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill. Our subject is meditation. We're taking some meditation moments with Jay Tyler. That is what he shares through Wisdom Television and in other areas too. And as I mentioned, you do have this wonderful Meditation Monthly. And I read on the back of it all these benefits that one has from meditation. And the next one is we manage stress and smooth out emotional lows. So that's kind of interesting because so many people do get into depression and have issues of being upset.
Meditation is a really good place to go mentally to kind of get away from things. The visualizations and just spacing out, just get away. Anything that's required to get away from the real world is a nice place to park yourself when you're kind of emotionally low. One of the meditations I did in this program is a mythical journey on top of a mountain. And when you're down in the low, that's where grasses grow well and trees grow tall. On top of the mountains where the air is clean and it's fresh and everything's clear and you can see real well. So we need both of these. You can be real creative when you're down in the low, but we don't want to hang out there too long. So.
Do you think of this as something spiritual, or do you think of it as scientific, that it's just good for you from a health perspective, or how do you define it?
What I do has nothing to do with religion. A lot of people think that I'm trying to sell them a package of goods on some kind of hocus pocus or something, but it really isn't. It's just good mental health. All I'm about is relaxing the body, slowing down the brain activity, and doing it in such a way that it doesn't interrupt our busy schedule.
Good mental health.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. And you did say that we can sleep better, digest better, and get sick less.
Right. Deep breathing techniques, like I show in the program, actually increase the efficiency of the immune system. So if your immune system is working at its optimum, one is less likely to get sick. So you'll get fewer colds and the flu less. In fact, I've been deep breathing for years, and I can't even remember the last time I got sick. I just don't get sick. One thing, I don't have time to get sick. So.
Yeah, because you have a busy schedule, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, you and I took a walk on the beach, and one of the things that you mentioned so often, and I always see with your meditation moments, is that you do like to be in nature. And so I took you to my natural space, which is on our little island.
A beautiful
so we'll
space.
Play that, if we will. Now we're walking along and we've got the birds in front of us. We have the water just racing just up there.
It's a lovely spot, and going to the beach is one of my favorite places to meditate. It's the waves, one on top of the other, is almost like a mantra speaking to you. And if you just sit there and just let yourself go, you can almost hear the ocean talking to you.
Yes, and we're lucky enough that we're away from the sounds of the traffic, and we are just hearing the sounds of nature. And as you say, the repetitive sound of the water is so natural to the whole human psyche. It just seems to slow us down. And then those birds, they do well for us.
A lot of people live in cities, and it's difficult to enjoy the natural experience unless you really get out into nature. And one of the things I like to do is to take something from nature back with me, and then I use that as a visual association for that time that I spend in nature.
So example here, a beautiful shell from
Right.
the beach, and you would take that home, and then every time you look at the shell,
Right.
you would be feeling that same kind of emotion.
Right. It would be the same thing as touching my fingers together. I'd look at the shell, look at the moment, enjoy the moment, look at the shell, look at the moment, enjoy the moment, and then when I would take that shell back, I could look at the shell and it would remind me of that moment.
So you really like this idea of the trigger, the mechanism that gets you there.
Absolutely, because in our busy world, our minds jump from time to time to time to thing to thing to thing to thought to thought to thought. We're so busy in our busy world, it's difficult to slow our brains down. And when we do have a moment to slow our brains down, often we're sitting there going through some kind of process trying to get there. But if you have some help to get you there, it just takes you right immediately to this.
Well, and that's what I liked about your tapes, because in the tape series, you go through one a month, and we're supposed to take a year's time to get to that point, but very slowly. And you don't really say that we have to, like, get that mind quiet, because it's very hard to get that mind quiet if you're forcing it.
And a lot of people think, oh, my mind wandered off. Oh, goodness, get back here and meditate. They want to be real strict with it. And it's really like a child, taking a child on a walk and on a trail. The child will wander off, and we as parents, what we would do is lovingly call our child back and gently put it back on the trail, and that's what we should do with our minds. The mind will wander. I don't know of anybody who can sit down for 20 or 30 minutes and just lock themselves into the meditative state and just stay there. The mind will wander. Perhaps if you did it for a living and lived in the Himalayas, you could do that, but we don't do this. We live in America, and we're busy, busy people. So if we gently and lovingly bring our minds back to the meditative state as it wanders off, that's being kind to ourselves. Plus, that's where the goodness is. It's like exercise. It's like lifting weights. You wander off, you bring it back. You wander off, you bring it back. You wander off, you bring it back.
So don't beat ourselves up if we're not.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But you do talk about power meditation.
Yes.
Okay. What's that? How do we powerfully meditate?
Well, we empower ourselves by being able to quickly go there. Like I said, if you only have 30 seconds to relax and you're really stressed out and you really need a moment of peace and relaxation, if you spend that 30 seconds trying to get there, then you've really not accomplished much. But if you can powerfully go there, then you, in say 3 seconds, then you can spend the 27 seconds left actually enjoying the experience. Wandering off, bring yourself back, wandering off, you know. You'll still do that.
Okay, so the power meditation, again, is that getting to it quickly.
Right.
Okay, like a power lunch or a power nap or whatever we want to talk about. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, on these meditation moments, you have 2-minute interstitials is what they're called. And with those, and that's your lovely blonde wife
Yes,
that
that's
we're
Vicky,
seeing. That's
my
Vicky.
wife,
So you're working together on this. And with that, you did 24. What did you try to do with those? What was your purpose, and where did you go to do it?
We shot it around Nashville and in our home. And the purpose was to show people different types of meditation, different techniques, and to show people that there are times in their busy schedule when they can take a meditative moment. And you don't have to stop and block off 20 or 30 minutes 2 or 3 times a day to benefit from meditation. You can simply just take little brief moments and enjoy those meditative times.
Now, what do you recommend as far as meditating? How often and when? And like sometimes they'll say, well, 20 minutes twice a day, first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. But you're not saying that. Are you saying on an as-needed basis?
It's not necessary. I have found that it is not necessary to take extended meditations. Although I do, and I enjoy extended meditations, I get just about as much benefit taking little tiny breaks, a lot of them throughout the day. I'm talking about every time I go to the bathroom, I take a brief meditation, every time. And as I get older, that's more and more often.
Well, thank you for sharing.
and anytime I'm on hold on the telephone, any little small brief time I'm in traffic, in a traffic jam, whatever, that is just an opportunity to just stop my life and have a little meditation moment.
So when you're on hold, on the telephone, for example. And you know, there are times during our day when there are things that are irritating to us and we lose patience with. And I'm speaking about me, but maybe other people too. And that's when you're saying, instead of being upset or impatient, go into your meditation. And you can come right back out of it when you come off of hold.
Well, one time I was directing a film. I had a 30-person crew. I was the director. Everything was going wrong. Everybody was looking at me what to do. We'd already worked 12 hours. We were getting ready to go. We were in overtime. We had to finish the shoot that day. It was maddening. I have never experienced more stress in my life. Everybody looked at me as to what to do, and I said, I've got to go to the bathroom. So I went, and I spent 2 minutes just getting calmed down, and I came back, and lo and behold, all the problems had pretty much taken care of themselves. Had a good crew, and it all worked out.
Well, now, and your Meditation Monthly, and that's, again, the 12-part series.
Yes.
And you're very proud of that because Nightingale Conant had picked it up too?
Yes, Nightingale Conant is the world's leader in audio self-improvement programming, and
well, congratulations.
So it was featured in their spring catalog.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
And it's a complete meditation training program for extremely busy people.
Right. It's a year-long program, and it has 12 monthly lessons, and it has a manual that goes with it with lesson plans. And if you go through the program, at the end of it, you will know all kinds of techniques to relax and visualizations to enjoy, and like I say, techniques that are specific to getting your mind to the meditative state quickly and easily.
And you have us practice like 2 times a week or 3 times a week, and there's music involved, and so it's one of those things. It's just tools that will take you where you want to get to.
It has music with guided meditation on one side of the tape, and on the other side of the tape is just the music. And once again, you form an association. I'm big on associations, so you form an association with the music. Then you can just listen to the music in your car, at the office, at home, anywhere you have a tape player, and it'll help keep you reminded of the lesson at hand.
Yes, and the lesson at hand, again, is to come to a quiet space so we can maximize our energy and we can lower our stress levels and we can stay healthier.
Right.
Thank you so much. You are serving us well.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
If you would like to be in touch with Jay, stay tuned and we'll let you know how. And also, you know, we always love to hear from you, and then we'll have a parting thought. In our busy lives, meditation can really play such an important role. We need to know how we can come from stress to center, how we can come back to balance. And meditation does that as well as any other technique. We have served you well. If there is something that you have found today that you can associate that will take you to that quiet place. Until next time, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill. May you be well, happy, and peaceful.